Okay, today we're going to talk about how to tell time and how to calculate the passage of time using our clocks. Once you get used to using your clock, and this is my version, your version is much smaller. After you get used to telling time and the passage of time, you could do it with just the numbers, with just the time itself. Okay? So first of all, when we are telling time, we have to remember that every hour on the hour has the long minute hand pointing at... Am I talking to myself here? 12, yes, 12. So, for instance, this time shows what? This shows what? And this shows what? Right. Now, if you take a look... Oh, wait. What's this show? 12. Okay, just making sure. Now, if you take a look at a clock, we can divide a clock into, like, parts, like a fraction. Okay? The easiest one to do is halfway. Okay? Halfway is like 1/2 of an hour. How many minutes are in an hour? 60 minutes in an hour. So half an hour is how many minutes?
30.
Yeah, I mean, if you look, it has the minutes here. Now, every time we hit a number, what are we counting by?
5.
That's right. So if we go like this, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and so on. They go by 5s. What do these each individual lines go by?
1.
Ones, 1 minute. So if I were to say 12:35, let's start off at 12. We're going to move it to 12:30 and then to 35. And let's say it's 37, 36, 37. I'm counting by ones. Okay? You will know if it's 12:30 because it's halfway between the 12 and the 1. If it's past 12, any time past 12, it's not going to be directly on the 12. It'll be somewhere between the 12 and the 1. Remember that. If it's halfway, it's probably 12:30. If it's more than halfway, like this, it's closer to 1. Look at the minutes. What minutes is it? 12:45. That's right. Okay? Now, if it's closer to the 12, that means it's just a little bit past 12. Like right here, it's 12:10. Okay? Now, this is where people get confused. When it gets all the way up here to like 12:55, they might say, oh, it's 1 o'clock. But it's not. Because it's not quite to the 1. It's 5 minutes until 1. Now, when we are telling the passage of time, it helps to write it down on the board. For instance, if I say it is 12:30, and I have an appointment at 12:30 at the circus. I'm going to try out for the circus. I'm going to be a juggler. Or a line tamer. I like that better. I'm going to be a line tamer. So my appointment's at 12:30 to try out. They give me a whole 1 hour and 15 minutes to prove myself as a lion tamer. Now, what I like to do when I'm doing time, I like to go for hour first. How many hours are we going past?
1.
So if I already have it at 12:30, I'm going to move the hour hand, and lucky enough, this thing actually can move when I move the minute hand, right? But we're not doing that. We're doing the hour first. 12:30, how many hours am I going for?
1.
Right, well, I'm already halfway between 12 and 1. So I'm not going to just go to the 1. I'm going to go halfway, like a full hour. So now instead of 12:30, it's what?
1:30.
1:30. Now what am I adding is my 15 minutes. So I'm already at the 30. I'm just going to count 15 minutes. 5, 10, 15. What time is it?
1:45.
1:45. Okay, that was an easy one. What if it's a little bit more difficult? Let's say it's 12:50, and I have to move forward 3. Oh, sorry. Writing that wrong.
3.
Let's write it over here. 12:50, and I have to move forward 3 hours and 6 minutes. Okay? Well, once again, I'm going to start at the time that I start at, which is 12:50. So I'm going to start here. 12:50. Okay? See how it's close to the 1? But it's not quite there. Now, how many hours am I counting?
6. 3.
Okay, 3 hours. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So I'm closest to what?
4.
But I'm not there yet. Am I?
No.
No, because it's 4:50. Now how many minutes am I going?
6.
So let's count by 5 and then ones. 5, 6. What time is it? It's 3:56.
I already knew that.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you already knew that. So did I.
To me, no.
Now, sometimes in our word problems, we have to tell the passage of time in increments. Okay? Well, increments are short bits of time. So, for instance, I might say it's 12:30. I had an appointment to prove I was a lion tamer at 12:30. They gave me 15 minutes to prove it. They gave me 7 minutes to put the lines away when I'm done. And then they gave me 2 more minutes to talk about what I did at the end. So, this is what we could do. Before we even start with the time, we could just add up the minutes. Okay? So I have 15, 7, and 2. Let's add the 7 and 2 first. It's 9. 15 plus 9 is 24 minutes. Easy peasy.
Lemon squeezy.
So again, I'm going to start at 12:30. And remember, the 12 has to be halfway between 12 and 1 because it's halfway around the hour. So 12:30, I'm not moving any hours, but I am moving minutes. What am I going to count by first?
5.
5. So let's do it. 5's until I reach what number? 20. And then I'll count by. Okay, so 5, 10, 15, 20. How many ones? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now it's 154. Yeah, 55, 60, 54. 154. Okay, so unfortunately, you guys don't get to take your clocks home. But it's real easy to make one at home, right? You just print off a sheet, get one of those little thumbtacks, make some hands, you got your own clock. Okay, so practice it at home. You can also practice it if you have a really old watch. Just take the glass front off and then move it around. Ask permission before you do that. Because otherwise your dad's going to come home and be like, "You ruined my antique watch!"
Oh, I have a question.
If you have one. All right, thanks guys.